Welcome everyone, and today in this video we are going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about negative thinking, those bad thoughts, why we have them, and most importantly how you can get rid of them. So please make sure you stay to the end of the video because we will be doing a live hypnotherapy session. So when we come to that stage, please make sure you're not drinking, driving or handling any heavy machinery. If you are, then you can always pause the video and get back to it on a later stage. I also would like you to please have a pen and paper ready. Yes, we need 2 pieces of paper and a pen because this is also going to be interactive. Even though this is a recording hypnotherapy session, I still want you to get the most out of it. Okay. So, first of all, who am I? Well, I am Peter Julius. I am a hypnotherapist. I am originally from Denmark. However, now I live in Torremolinos, very close to Malaga, southern part of Spain. And I live here with Beyonce and Rihanna. That is my cats, not the singers, because I don't want to get into any legal trouble, so I have to say that from now on. So, just so you know, when I mention Beyonce and Rihanna, cats, not the singers. I have trained with Marisa Peer, RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy. I started my training in 2019 and then I had my first clients in 2020. So I have been doing it for well over 6 years. I have also trained with Tony Robbins, which I'm a huge admirer of, everything he does in positive thinking. And also a guy I really would love to meet for dinner is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a bit more into neuroscience and he is so intelligent, and we will also get in a little bit later in the video some of his saying and his beliefs, and they also became mine because I have tested on myself and my clients have given me the feedback, so that's quite incredible. So yeah, since we are talking about negative thinking and bad thoughts, I myself have had them. And I was lost and I did not know what to do. And I found a way out of it. And this is why I also, I do therapy now, hypnotherapy more specific. So we access the subconscious mind, not only the conscious mind. So whenever I have a client coming into my, whether it's online or face to face, there's absolutely no judgment and there's no silly thoughts of silly thing, anything like that when someone comes to me, because I have no judgment whatsoever. My life, to be quite honest with you, had a period of times in the past been an absolutely, how can I say, shit show. I think that was the best way I can say that. And I just found the tools with the hypnotherapy. I was a client one time with a good friend of mine that was, doing hypnotherapy, and it just worked wonders, and it was so fast and it was so long lasting still to this day, many years after. Of course, we do have negative thoughts from time to time. That is part of being a human, that we have ups and downs in life, and that's perfectly normal. What is not so good is to continue having those negative thoughts, because if we continue doing that, it can lead to deep depression. So if you believe you have negative thoughts, then this video is definitely for you, or invite you later to contact me personally if there's something you wanted to talk about in a bit more confidentiality. I can't say that word, sorry. Anyway, so what is negative thinking? Well, basically negative thinking is repeating thoughts that we have over and over again over a negative situation or a negative thought. Very often people think negative about themselves. It can also be thinking negative like, our relationship is going good and bad, or I would always mess up when I'm trying to do something new. And when we're thinking those negative thoughts, our brain learn, by practicing the same thing over and over again. An example would be like the first time you're riding a bicycle, you were probably not very good and you need training wheels. And that is the same with the brain. The more you practice, the stronger the connection between what your brain thinks is reality and actually just a thought. So over time, we actually believe ourselves that this is our new reality. But the good news is what we have learned mentally can also be unlearned. And those thoughts, they are not your identity. It is not your personality. So just rest assured that it can be changed. What else? Why does the brain actually do this for us? Well, the brain does it to protect us. And it actually comes back to when we were, how can I say, cavemen and women. We have to be alert at all times. That's why the brain is actually looking out for us at all times. And what's the best way of looking out for us? Well, believe there's danger. Because if we are chilling on the beach and drinking coconut drinks, we are not very much alert of what's going on, because we might doze off and have a little siesta. So our brain job is kind of, how can I say, an overprotected parent, which is good. However, sometimes it can be a little bit too much, because again, like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, and Marisa Peer, your brain does not know the difference between reality, past or present. We can actually make ourselves believe whatever we want to believe, and if you think that thought long enough, we actually believe it, and then our brain would automatically start to look out for those things, whatever they are true or not. So this is not about law of attraction. It's more about what you tell your mind is what your mind is going to be focusing on. So choose positive thinking, choose positive thoughts. That is definitely my recommendations. In the beginning, I know it can be a little bit of a challenge. However, it will get easier over time. I trust it because I lived it, and I have many clients who have lived it too. And they're the living proof of it is actually possible to change, the negative thinking. Next thing I want to say is negative thinking patterns. It can very often be overthinking and negative thinking. Overthinking or deep thinking, that's what I meant to say. What is the difference between overthinking and deep thinking? I'm a deep thinker. Like when I see something, I would like to know how is it made. For instance, on Discovery Channel, there's many programs of how is it made, and that's a deep thinker. An overthinker is someone who's kind of planning for something bad, the fear of what's going to happen in the future. So that's an overthinker, and that's not good to have. A deep thinker is good. Another way of thinking negative is the fear of failure, because we can be thinking that this will go wrong because it has gone wrong in the past. And here's a tip you might want to write down. Me personally, when I changed my way of thinking, I don't make mistakes anymore. I make experiences. So when I made, how can I say, an error, a mistake, I actually sit back, look at it, maybe even write it down on a piece of paper and think, if I was given a second opportunity, what would I do different in this situation? So that's why I'm already thinking now. I'm not making mistakes, because if you're thinking you're making mistakes, you're just reinforcing this negative pathway that you have in your brain, and that's what we want to get rid of. So if there's something you have done or thinking about, what should I learn from this, and how could I do it different to make it better every time? Another big thing that I hear from my clients is comparing themselves to others. That can also lead to negative thoughts and negative behavior. I would say do not, never ever compare yourself to other people. If I was comparing myself right now, like the people I already mentioned, Marisa, Tony, Joe, if I compare myself to them, how many views I'm gonna get on social media, or how many stadiums they can fill up. If I was comparing myself to them, I would not be making this video today. I would love to one day to be just as successful as they are. Of course I do. I cannot compare myself. So is there someone else in your life? It could be a celebrity, someone you look up to, you admire, workplace, family member. What is it they have that you don't have? And maybe you can go out and get those skills yourself. by training or watching. Is there anything on YouTube, for instance? Is there any courses I can take online? So yeah, definitely do not compare yourself to other people, because it can cause negative thinking, and we don't want that anymore. We only want positive thinking. So I also have some clients that say, but why can't positive thinking just be, change all of this pathway? Well, positive thinking and affirmation is definitely a really good way to change the way you are thinking. I absolutely applaud anybody who does this and practice it. However, the only tiny problem with that is it is your subconscious mind who keeps repeating those negative thoughts. And those negative thoughts and subconscious mind, the subconscious mind is actually responsible for 90% of what's going on in your mind, and only 10% is the conscious. So the subconscious is responsible for me breathing right now, blinking my eyes, know that I need a glass of water in just a moment. We need food. We know when we need to go to the toilet. We take a shower. We don't really think about it. That's the autopilot. So by having those affirmation and the positive words, it's like I said, it is very good. However, we need to go in and change those beliefs in the subconscious mind, and we'll do that in a moment with the guided hypnotherapy session that we are going to be doing. It is like, how can I say, let me give you an example. Oh yeah, it's like if you have a computer and you have maybe like couple of letters that's not working on the keyboard, you can change the keyboard. However, that will not fix the issue, because the hard drive, the mother drive, or whatever it's called, I'm not a computer technician. However, if you do not make sure that all of the correct cables and wires is connected, then you can change to a pink, green, yellow, blue keyboard, but it will still not work because it is not wired correctly. So that's how you can think about the conscious mind, the keyboard. The subconscious mind is actually all of the technical part behind it. So I hope that makes sense. Like, we need to make real changes, and to change the keyboard for working, we need to make sure that the computer behind the scenes is working. Another thing I just want to mention, like I promised, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he actually have done a research that we are, on average, we are thinking about 85% of the same thoughts every single day, which means 50% is only new thoughts. So yes, in order for you to not to sit and do all of the math right here and just concentrating a bit more of what I'm saying, you can actually change the way you are thinking, and you can change the way you're thinking, and you can do that on average 17 days. And also, when you change the way you're thinking, you are changing your personality. So imagine if you feel you just have a few negative thoughts now, and you want to have a positive thoughts, you're actually gonna change your personality, and people are actually gonna change it. And that's what we do when we access the subconscious mind. So I think that's quite amazing that we can actually change the way we are to become a better person in under a month, basically 17 days average person. So yeah, that's really good. Way with negative thinking, also I want to just point out that it's important that we acknowledge that we have a negative thought, because we don't want to create any more pathway into the brain and reinforce it. No, so when you do have a negative thought, just acknowledge it and say to your brain, thank you for sharing, I don't need it, out to the left. The reason why I say out to the left and not to the right, because everything to the right is the right thing to do, and everything to the left is the one thing we don't want. And I think it's what's it called, Tinder. They have this, the one you like is to the right, and the one we don't want is to the left. So just always remember, acknowledge it, take a moment, thank you brain, thank you for sharing, and then out to the left. Very important is that you are not judging those thoughts, but just acknowledge they are there, and then straight away out to the left. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water here. So yeah, there were some tips on how to get rid of those negative thoughts and how the brain is actually working. So now I want you to grab your 2 pieces of paper and a pen. Let me just see here, just for visual. Here is a pen, because now it is your turn to be a bit interactive here. So on the first piece of paper, I have some questions here I want you to reflect on, and I'm gonna give you a minute. Otherwise, you can always, if you need more time, just pause the video. So on the first list, step 1, I want you to write down what you want to let go of. What negative thoughts keep repeating themselves, and what emotions is attached to them. I want you to write down what negative thoughts you want to get rid of and what emotions is attached to them. And I'm gonna give you a minute from now. An example would be, I'm not good enough, I will never succeed, I'm always anxious, fear, self-doubt, worry. So what negative thoughts do you want to get rid of? And what emotions is attached to it? Just write down a couple of answers, and remember there's no right or wrong answers, there's only your answers, and you do not need to share them with anybody. You got 10 seconds left, otherwise you can always pause the video if you need to. Okay, brilliant. I now trust that you have made your list of the things that you do not want. So now in step 2, we are gonna be writing down the things you want instead. So this is gonna be the good list. And again, in a moment, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to write down, reflect on the questions. If you need more time, of course, just pause the video. So write down how you rather would like to be thinking, and also write down how you really would like to feel instead. Like an example could be like, how would I like to think in the future? Calm, confident, happy, peaceful, confident. Very important with this list that you do not use the 2 words, which is also not allowed when I have a client in therapy. One word is but, B-U-T, and the other one is try. And let me just explain why, of course. So the word but, B-U-T, we're not using that anymore. And the reason being, it is a negative word and I don't like it. An example would be, your partner says, I really love you, but, you know, that's not a good thing. Or your boss comes to me and says, it was a really good job today, Peter, but. We do not want that. You replace it with another word. Another word could be, Peter, you did a really good job today. However, there's still gonna be some sort of following up what maybe I could have done better, but it just changed the whole thing to be a bit more positive. And the word try, no one tries to go to the Olympic Games and no one tries to win a gold medal. Try is not commitment. It's like a friend would say, okay, next time I try to be on time when we're meeting for coffee. No, I want you to be there on time to meet me for a coffee. So again, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to write down how you would rather feel and how you would rather think. So your minute starts now. So how would you rather feel and think? Positive, relaxed, peaceful, happy. So again, there's no right or wrong answers. Just give it full power with all the good things you want to think and feel. Because it is possible to change all of that. Absolutely. Okay, you got 10 seconds left. If you need more time, of course, just pause the video. Okay, perfect, brilliant. I trust now that you have made your list of the things that you do want. Another thing I just want you to ask yourself, what if the problem is disappearing, it is gone? How would you think? What would you think instead? Just put that down on a piece of paper. If you did not have those negative bad thoughts, what would you think instead, and how would you feel? So good. So now we have two lists on two pieces of paper. We have the good list to the right, and we have the bad list to the left. You know, left we don't want, and the right list is for all the right reasons, right things that we want. So in a moment we're going to be doing the hypnotherapy session, which is absolutely my favorite. This is where my clients are really seeing a huge change, and things are coming up they might not have thought about and visualized before, so this can be very powerful. For those of you who do not know what hypnotherapy is, you might have seen on YouTube or other places on TV that someone say hocus pocus and now you are dancing around the stage like a chicken. That is not what I'm doing. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. What I'm doing here, I'm accessing the subconscious mind, and you are in control at all times. You are sitting with your eyes closed and you're just listening to the guidance of my voice, and that is what hypnotherapy is. You are awake absolutely at all times. So I just want you to make sure you're sitting in a comfortable chair, sofa, bed. It doesn't really matter where you are sitting, as long as it's comfortable and you feel safe and supported. So in a moment I'm going to be asking you to look up as high as you can as you're looking into your own eyebrows, and I'll see if I can do it so it makes sense. So basically, as you can see, take my glasses a bit down, I'm looking into my own eyebrows. I don't know if you can see. Look up as high as you can as you're looking into your own eyebrows. So that is what I want you to do, and just listen to the guidance of my voice. If there's any noise in the background, just absolutely ignore it. All right. So again, if you are driving or have been drinking or handling any heavy machinery, please pause the video and get back to it on a later stage, due to this can be very relaxing experience. Okay, so look up as high as you can as you are looking into your own eyebrows. That's good. Just taking a deep breath in and exhale while you're keeping your eyes open and up at all times. That's brilliant. And one more time, making sure your eyes are up and open. Taking a deep breath in, hold it for a little moment, and exhale and keeping your eyes up and open, and just allowing yourself to settle into this moment. That's brilliant. And one more time, taking a deep breath in, keeping your eyes open, and as you exhale you can close your eyes all the way down. That's perfect. So now you can forget all about your eyes and just allow a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body, and every sound and every noise around you can absolutely just ignore. I want you to just concentrate on your breathing in slowly and breathing out slowly. That's very good. Now I will count down from 10 till 1, and with each number you will go even deeper. So on the count of 10 you're relaxing, breathing in slowly. The count of 9 you are letting go. That's brilliant. Breathing in, concentrating on your breathing. The count of 8, drifting deeper. That's good. Count of 7, you're feeling safe and supported. On the count of 6, completely supported and guided. On the count of 5, halfway way down. That's brilliant. Count of 4, your body is completely relaxed as you continue concentrating on your breathing and the sound of my voice. On the count of 3, your mind and body is completely relaxed in this moment. Count of 2, deeply connected. On the count of 1, at a very deep state of peace. That's brilliant. So just concentrating on your breathing in slowly and out slowly. That's absolutely brilliant. Perfect. As I click my fingers, you will go 10 times, 100 times deeper into relaxation. That is very good. So now I want you to imagine the list you had to your left, the list we do not want anymore. You are remembering that list that you just wrote down, and I want you to imagine that it is in front of you, right there in front of you right now. It is like your problem is standing right there within reach. You can see it, you can almost feel it. I want you to repeat after me, looking at the problem and all of the things you do not want. Say, thank you. I don't need you anymore. You had a purpose back then, but not anymore. You can leave now. So now I want you to imagine that your problem is disappearing into the distance, out to the left, disappearing, becoming shorter, smaller, see-through. It is disappearing in your mind, absolutely disappearing out of your life. It is going further and further away until it is completely gone and you cannot see it. It is just a little dot right now. The problem is completely and utterly gone out of your life. As I click my fingers, it is gone because you have made that promise to yourself and to me today. So the problem will not, cannot ever return into your life because it is gone, just like the bath water this morning. You cannot collect it even if you wanted to, because it is gone out of your life, out to the left. If it ever returns for some reason, you just say to your brain, thank you for sharing, and out to the left. I don't need you anymore. So now that the problem is gone, as I click my fingers again, it is gone out of your life. I want you to remember the good list, the list you have to your right. Now remember that good list in your mind, because right now that list is in front of you and you remember all the things that you wanted in your life, how you want to think, how you want to feel. So just remember the positive words that you're putting in to that list. Just notice how you're thinking right now. Notice how you feel when you think about this amazing, good, positive list that you have. And also notice how you behave. I want you to notice right now, like, how this good feeling is in your body when you have the confidence, you are peace, you are happy, everything is going your way. You have the confidence you were born with that has been refound into your life. I want you to really feel that feeling in your body. And I want you to this feeling to expand, starting from your chest, your heart, all the way through your body, through your legs, and all the way down to your feet and your toes. It is expanding, this good, nice, warm feeling with the perfect breeze through your arms and hands and fingers. It is expanding through your neck and all over your face and your body. You are surrounded now with this good, amazing, good, positive thing. The feeling that you always wanted, that you were born with, it is now a part of you. So while you are enjoying this moment, I want you to silently ask yourself, the future self that has this good, amazing, positive feeling, just ask yourself, what is it? What do you want me to know? what advice do you have for me? Those answers are coming easily and naturally, beautifully into your mind. So yeah, I trust that you have this all settled right now. Everything is beautiful, brilliant, and perfectly. And now I will count you back from 1 to 5. And when I say the word 5, you will absolutely wake up. So at the count of 1, you're becoming more and more aware of your surroundings. At the count of 2, you're breathing more calmly and easily. Count of 3, you can feel your body all over. On the count of 4, your hands and feet are moving. On the count of 5, you can open your eyes gently and slowly, and just take a deep breath in and out, and just let this good feeling settle into your body. And remember this good feeling that you just experienced here in this mini hypnotherapy session here with me today. So welcome back. How are you feeling? How was this experience for you? Was there any good advice the future self gave you? If you want, you can always share it in the comments below. I would love to hear more about it. And we're actually getting towards to the end, because I want you to continue enjoying this good moment. So I will just wrap it up quickly, so you can sit back and relax and just have a big smile and good feeling in your body. So yeah, remember, negative thinking, it is not your identity, it is not your personality, and it can absolutely be changed, because what happened mentally, what we learned, can be unlearned. So be assured of that. And also continue, if you are reading affirmations and positive words, that is good, it is brilliant. Also remember to change the hardware, the subconscious mind. And if you know someone who can benefit from this video, please, share this video with them. Let me know that there is help out there. And very often, people think they know why they have negative thoughts. In hypnotherapy, a completely different answer can come up. And that's why I would also like to invite you, if any of you want to talk to me on a personal, confidential level, I will link in the description below how you can contact me, and where you can book a absolutely free, no obligation consultation call with me, where we can talk a bit more about what your negative thoughts you're having, or repeating thoughts, and how I can help you, so we make a tailored plan just for you. So yeah, for now, I just want to say thank you for watching this to the very end. My name is Peter Julius, professional hypnotherapist. Please share if anybody needs it. And I just want to wish you a nice day here from Torremolinos in Spain. Ciao for now.